Hi there, I'm Colin Newbold, the founder of TLC Online and the chief architect behind the Click360 brand. Now, it's been a while since I recorded a vlog. Business has been all consuming these past few months, plus we've been involved in bedding in the new Click360 self-drive platform. In addition, we've started a campaign to recruit Click360 coaches in the USA in readiness for a PPC campaign to get our product better known there. So apologies for the break in transmission. I'm back now. I wanted this vlog to be short but highly impactful. Over the last few years, our coaches have developed a process for helping participants to get more clarity and depth from their Click360 reports. And we call this process checking out. And it takes place between the first feedback coaching session, where the participant gets to explore their Click360 report, and then the second coaching session, which is all about building a robust development plan to build on the strengths that come out of the report, as well as to minimize or eradicate any behaviors that have been getting in the way. So the report itself is never definitive enough to produce clear development actions. In our experience, it actually raises more questions than answers. And to this end, we encourage the participant to go away from this first Explore Your Click360 report session with an outline plan of at least one strength and up to 3 development priorities, and with a commitment to undertake further exploration using the checking out process. Checking out is about gaining further depth and clarity via verbal feedback from a representative proportion of the rater network. Those are the people who contributed anonymously. And this is also an opportunity to check out any items that don't make sense, that are unclear or confusing, and any areas of conflict where different raters appear to think the opposite of each other. And we coach them how to do this by first selecting the relevant areas, so that's 1 strength and up to 3 development priorities, from the report that they wish to check out with each rater category. Now, each strength and development priority should be described in as short a sentence as possible. For example, to continue asking each team member for their input, or to catch people doing things right, or to improve my monthly report, etc. And then we ask them to use the golden question. The golden question: if I was performing at my peak in this respect, what would I be doing or not doing, and or saying or not saying? Or, an alternative is, if I was the best I could be at this, what could it look like? What would I be doing or not doing? What would I be saying or not saying? Now, we advise that checking out is done in different ways depending on the rater category. And the first one is going to look at checking out feedback with the line manager. Now, this session should be relatively easy for the participant to arrange face-to-face, and we recommend making this a standalone appointment where checking out is the only item on the agenda. They shouldn't need to gain permission, as this is most definitely part of the line manager's responsibility to their direct report and should be expected. Coach the participant to explain the purpose of the session. They'll probably have done this already in setting the appointment. And then they start with the key strength, and they should explore with the manager ways of leveraging this, especially if there was a way that could minimize or even eliminate one of the development priorities. It doesn't matter whether the manager personally highlighted this strength or not. The fact is that a majority of the rater network did. There's a clear trend or message coming through. Although if the manager didn't agree, there would automatically be a useful discussion point there. They should move on to the key development priority next. Once again, it doesn't matter whether the manager personally highlighted this development priority or not. The fact is that a majority of the rater network did, although again, if the manager didn't agree, there would be a useful discussion point there. And encourage the participant to use the golden question again, plus supplementary questions as appropriate, to gather more richness around their development priority, and repeat for all of the development priorities. Coach the participant to practice modeling any of the development priorities where relevant during this session. In other words, and as an example, if there is let's say, a development priority around listening better, well, here is an opportunity for the participant to practice that, to demonstrate that. If there is or there are any areas of ambiguity or conflict, now is the time for the participant to raise it or raise them. In asking the line manager for clarification, the participant could ask, could you share an example or describe an occasion when you observed me doing or not doing, or saying or not saying XYZ? In other words, the feedback should be something that the line manager has experienced firsthand, not heard about from a third party. Lastly, they should go back to each development priority in turn and ask if the manager has any development suggestions. Especially important is what the manager can do personally to support them. The participant ends the session by thanking the manager sincerely and committing to return with a comprehensive action plan once the checking out process is finished. Now, what about checking out feedback with peers and stakeholders? Well, it's the same process as with the line manager. Depending on the overall number of raters that completed in each category, they don't necessarily need to go back to each rater in each of these categories. A representative proportion is all they need. So 2 out of 2, 2 out of 3, 3 out of 4, 3 out of 5, etc. This time, though, the participant needs to gain permission from each rater that they approach. If the original invitation conversation went well, the rater should already have been set up for this. And sometimes, especially when the geography is complicated, these sessions are best conducted by phone. One advantage of using the phone is that the participant can keep on track using a script which is unseen by the rater, or certainly some key notes. Now, what about when it comes to checking out feedback with direct reports? Well, it's the kind of same process as before, except that this time the participants should be doing the checking out as a group event. They need to allow appropriate time for the session and diarise it in advance. Once again, it really ought to be a bespoke standalone meeting just for this purpose. And here are the recommended timelines. About 10 minutes for the introduction, 45 to 60 minutes for the direct reports to do the work, and then about 15 to 20 minutes for the direct reports to feed back to their manager, including discussion around development suggestions. As you can imagine, and you can say this to the participant, this session will dramatically improve or build on relationships, depending on where they were before, with the team members. This is a significant trust-building exercise when conducted with complete authenticity. So there you have the checking out process in all its glory. I hope that will be helpful. It has made a big difference to the results that we've achieved with our Qlik 360 implementations. All of our accredited coaches use this approach. And in fact, we've even gone so far now as to offer an automated version of this. It's actually built into the software now. We can demo that if you're interested. But right now, I'd encourage you to give checking out a try. Just see how it works. It may sound difficult to do. It may sound as though you're breaking, the whole confidentiality contract. But in our experience, it works really well. It's not difficult to do. The participant gets a lot more richness and depth and clarity in the data they bring back to that second feedback coaching session, which is based on developing the action plan, and truly does make a wonderful difference to the way in which that 360 impacts the organization. So have fun with it. And as ever, I encourage you to offer your comments below. Please let us know what you think of that process, or don't hesitate to ask any questions. Thanks for watching.